A very good evening and welcome. This is Primetime News. I'm Joel Outskun. We start off today with a look at the headlines.
Supreme Court orders the Sri Lanka Medical Council to register 82 Saitam medical degree holders. Attempts to change higher education laws. University academic staff oppose decision. The Court of Appeal decision on the interim injunction on importation of waste material to be delivered tomorrow. Minister of Sports to meet the head of the ICC along with a letter from the Prime Minister.
Starting off with the news we just received to our newsroom. Now, one suspect has been arrested at the Central Mail Exchange with narcotic pills worth over 15 million rupees. Now, Customs Media spokesperson Sunil Jayaratne said 3,050 ecstasy pills were found in a parcel at the Central Mail Exchange. The parcel had been posted into the country from Portugal, and the suspect who arrived at the Central Mail Exchange to obtain this parcel was arrested in this manner. The 27-year-old suspect is a resident of Colombo 14. With that, moving on to more news this evening. Now, the Supreme Court ordered the Sri Lanka Medical Council to register 82 Saitam graduates in order to facilitate them to practice medicine. The order was handed down after examining the petition filed by 3 graduates of the Malabe Saitam Private Medical College.
The petition was examined by the bench comprising Supreme Court Justices Bhuvaneka Aluwihara, LTB Dehideniya and P. Padman Surasena. Accordingly, the Supreme Court ordered the SLMC to register the students within a period of 3 weeks. The Court of Appeal in 2016, considering a petition filed by Saitam medical graduate Kasunda Suryarachi, delivered a verdict that the Saitam students be registered under the SLMC. The Sri Lanka Medical Council appealed the decision at the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court held the initial verdict of the Court of Appeal. The students had once again submitted a petition before the Supreme Court that they had not been registered under the SLMC despite the court order. The Supreme Court delivered its verdict today regarding this petition and ordered that the legal fees of 200,000 rupees each to be paid to the 3 petitioners. The Supreme Court further said the SLMC had violated the fundamental rights of the Saitam medical graduates. The fundamental rights being right to equality before the law and the equal protection of the law and freedom to engage in any lawful occupation, profession, trade, business or enterprise. The Supreme Court further said that SLMC, as per the Sri Lanka Medical Council Act, does not have the right to refrain from enacting their responsibilities. It adds that by not enacting the previous decisions of the judiciary, it seems that the SLMC has taken over a power that has not been vested with them.
Now, details about an attempt to change laws and regulations of higher education was revealed during a media briefing which was convened by the University Lecturers Association today. The higher education, that is the Quality Assurance and Accreditation Bill, was also explained during this media briefing.
This
can be recognized as a step in transforming the University Grants Commission to an unimportant institution. The Act suggests to appoint another commission to control and ensure the quality of education in universities. The membership in this commission is politicized. There are 13 members here, out of which 4 are state employees. President will appoint 9 out of the 15 as the Minister of Higher Education has suggested. The Act recommends that 5 members are permanent. One of them will be appointed as the chairman. It further adds that a quorum of 5 members is required to conduct a session. The method to propose this act is called external quality assurance. This method is carried out by an investigation conducted by a group of external university lecturers at a higher education institute for a few days. The issue, however, is the quality of a university cannot be determined by the method alone. This draft bill proposes a new program called Cross Mobility. Through this program, a student will be able to obtain a qualification from a private higher education institute and enroll to a state university. If the draft bill transforms into a law, the high-quality state university system we maintain will collapse.
Non-academic employees of state universities took part in a one-day token strike today.
The non-academic employees carried out this token strike citing 11 requests, including the rectification of salary anomalies. According to the co-chairman of the University Trade Union Joint Committee, Dhammika Priyantha, steps will be taken to launch a continuous trade union action if these requests are not granted. Although non-academic employees of universities across the island took part in this token strike, operations at the University of Colombo carried out as usual. When Newsfirst inquired the chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Mohan De Silva, regarding this matter, he said that the Finance Ministry has been informed of the issues pertaining to the non-academic employees.
3,800 unemployed graduates received appointments in the state service this afternoon. The appointments were granted at Temple Trees.
The graduates were appointed based on a selection program spanning across all districts in the island. 880 of the graduates appointed are external degree holders. The graduates were recruited to the Ministries of National Policies, Economic Affairs, Resettlement and Rehabilitation, and Northern Province Development and Youth Affairs.
The aspirations of a few development officials are to move on to another job, while others hope to remain in this service. Today we grant you this training through this e-learning system. It is essential that we think in new ways now. We have to create economic development programs at the rural level, parallel to other rural programs. Those who are here today are university graduates. Similarly, as a second phase, we would provide jobs by filling the vacancies by recruiting external degree holders.
The Unemployed Graduates Association continues to reiterate that the recruitment process is flawed.
5 of our comrades were injured during yesterday's protest march. The President and Prime Minister have said on 4 occasions that jobs were given within 6 months. Ultimately, what they have done, the unemployed graduates have been turned against each other. Article 2A of this government-issued circular states, internal and external degree holders should be treated as equals. But this government separated this as external and internal, causing an injustice to a large number of internal degree holders. Moreover, the government allocates 3% of the jobs for graduates with hearing and visual disabilities. This time there are 48 such unemployed graduates. The nominations of all these graduates have been cut off. Isn't an external degree a degree? This discrimination is wrong. So the government has to provide jobs to those who graduated before as well. Interviews are now being held for recruitments to the Samurdhi banks in the Ministry of National Empowerment. Who are conducting these interviews? It's the minister's staff, those who deliver party letters. They conducted interviews today as well. So this government is technically making political appointments. The government has to draft a program regarding external degree holders, or they have to suspend the subject of external degrees for these students. If they have made one, they have to provide a solution to these children.
Chancellor of the Batticaloa Campus Higher Education Institute, former Governor of the Eastern Province, MLAM Hizbullah, spoke of the institution at a media briefing today.
Cabinet Subcommittee.
Ashu Marasinghe has compiled a report with answers that we gave to the Cabinet Subcommittee. It is supposed to be debated at the Parliament on the 7th. He urged that this needs to be nationalised and it should be named as Batticaloa University. We are against that. We are given only 35 acres. In total, it's 43 acres is what he states. But I clearly state that it's only 35 acres that has been given to us. He states that we have used the name of University College Batticaloa at the registration. He states that we used the word university. We used only the name University College. But when we were given money from the Ministry of Higher Education, they have given us money as University of Batticaloa. That is not our fault. We received money likewise. We weren't said that it is a loan, but now they say that it is a loan. He states that we haven't even informed that to them. This report includes our financial liability. I handed this report over to the Higher Education Ministry in July of 2016. We received money for the month of March.
4th March 16, the second 695 million had been advanced. And the second transaction, 560 million was received.
We received this money officially through the central bank. We received it from a state bank, the Bank of Ceylon. It was then transferred to our account.
They said it was received in the form of a loan. The central bank clearly said that if this was a loan, it has to come through wrong means and through the wrong accounts, and that this loan cannot be repaid. So we see this as a massive irregularity. Was money being laundered here? We also request for an investigation into financial irregularities be conducted into this.
Back to the news. Let's take a look at some views expressed on our Newsline program this morning.
I think Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe gave an assurance to the Bar Association that all these agreements with the United States will not be signed within this year. So it might happen January 1st if he is still in power. But it's very interesting that the US ambassador has sent a letter to President Maithripala Sirisena about getting these things off the ground. Now, why is she so impatient? Right? There are no countries that love other countries. They follow their interests. Where do we get represented? You know, we elect people, but they are following some other agenda.
Meanwhile, the US ambassador to Sri Lanka called on opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa at his official residence in Vijayaramamawatha on the 23rd of this month. The meeting took place behind closed doors and were not open for the media.
We are now challenging Gotabaya Rajapaksa to come forward and say if he is able to say that SOFA and AXA will not be signed. Speak, if you can, of the adverse effects of all of this. Neither Gotabaya Rajapaksa nor Mahinda Rajapaksa will be able to speak a word on this. Basil Rajapaksa will not speak at all. He has said that US citizenship is important. Why are US citizens wanting to contest in Sri Lanka? Gotabaya Rajapaksa cannot oppose this. You must venerate and kneel before the US flag and obtain citizenship there. You must agree to the US laws as a US citizen. Even if a person is accusing US citizenship, that person will have to be in a probation period for 10 years. That is how the citizenship will be recused. If the US wants, they can call him back.
Meanwhile, a document claiming to be the certificate of loss of nationality of the United States of Gotabaya Rajapaksa is being widely shared on social media. The Daily Mirror website had reported that the document was a forgery. It stated that Rajapaksa had become a US citizen on March 13, 2003 and renounced his US citizenship at the US Embassy on July 5, 2019. The certificate carried a red seal dated July 26, 2019, stating, quote, "Approved American Embassy, Colombo," unquote. Daily Mirror says, however, Rajapaksa was not in Sri Lanka on July 5th. He was in Singapore, purportedly recovering from an open heart surgery. Official records viewed by the Daily Mirror also demonstrate that Rajapaksa became a US citizen on January 31st, 2013, not in March 2003.
Let's now take a look at some views convening a media briefing expressed by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna today.
We will be introducing our presidential election candidate on the 11th of August. He will be a person who has never involved in the field of politics. He will be a person who loves his country and he can make decisions to make this country peaceful and prosperous. We made that leader. Otherwise, we are not ready to hand over this country to a government which will act according to the European countries. After 11th of August, a group of members from the United National Party, including a powerful member, have decided to join us. And on the 11th of August, we request the Sri Lanka Freedom Party to join hands with us for the movement against the government. If not, a powerful set of people will be on the stage on the 11th of August. Mahinda Rajapaksa is ready to change this constitution and distribute power within the system that will not drift the country apart. He is someone who wants to make this country an independent state. Till the 11th of August, we have the name Gotabaya Rajapaksa. On the 11th, he will be named. Mainly, it should be named by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa on the 11th. But people know what will happen.
Following an event held at the Ministry of Sports, Minister Harin Fernando spoke to the media.
Yes, that is my personal view. I think it's him. We should join someone who can win. The country does not want to know if the brothers are going to be the president and the prime minister. He's a 52-year-old leader with a vision of the youth. Some people question whether 52 years is young. Of course it is. All presidents in Sri Lanka were above 65 and even 80. So Sri Lanka now has the opportunity. He is free of fraud and corruption. He is not someone who entered into politics when his father was involved. The father was killed by terrorists. When taking all of these into consideration, the people will decide who the next leader is.
Now, the issue pertaining to the waste containers in Sri Lanka was discussed during the Face the Nation program last night.
This is nothing to do with recycling. This is simply garbage. what is happening here is when you get the container from the Europe, you are paid with minimum $20,000 to $30,000. You bring it here just for the sake of BOI purposes, export certain few items back to some other part of the world, and use the same BOI dumping yard and dump in Sri Lanka, the balancer. I don't think there's any intention of recycling.
I also emphasize the fact that no Sri Lankan law at present allows any importation of any waste material. Although the CEA website says so, the website is in contradiction to the National Environment Act. So therefore, we have to all abide by the law. Even if the website is wrong, it does not mean that anyone can get an authority to import any garbage or waste material to this country. And the National Environment Act does not have any provision to allow any import of waste material to this country. Therefore, if someone makes that interpretation, I should say it's bad in law or it is illegal, and that interpretation does not carry any weight.
I'm particularly mentioning this, the way that Haley's company has stored this waste material. It is open to air, open to the elements, rain drops on it, it's moldy, liquids are seeping out. Now any proper recycler or processor or whoever needs to have proper storage facilities as the minimum to start an operation like. So the BOI is also responsible, I think, in order to make sure that these BOI approved companies have these limited facilities, and the company itself has done a really bad job. So I'm sad to say Haley's cannot get away so easily and say this is somebody else's business. All around our coasts we have a huge plastic problem. Our oceans are grossly polluted with plastic. So we already have a huge problem of waste, and on top of that, if we are actually importing waste like this, we are, through various means, waste is smuggled. Now Sri Lanka is one of the top 10 plastic polluters in the world. Maybe, who knows, maybe this is plastic that is coming from the developing countries, which are dumped to our landfill and to our oceans. Who knows?
I have a doubt why the Aruwakkaru is being quickly transformed into a dumping yard in the recent past. Whether Aruwakkalu operation is part and parcel of this operation is also, we don't know. They would have planned just to make sure you get the garbage in, produce some sort of a few items to the BOI to say that we are re-exporting, and take the majority of the stuff to Aruwakkalu.
We should take immediate action to send back this cargo to that particular destination. The investigation is sufficient enough to move for a customs inquiry. Most probably within a very few days we can go for a customs inquiry and we can penalize the persons and we can come to a conclusion. But we want to make this land a better place to live for you, me, and to the entire human beings. As a citizen, we have obligation. As a business person, we have obligation. As a government servant, we have obligation.
Now, meanwhile, a group of university lecturers revealed details about the disposal of garbage in Jaffna.
Clinical waste. We have received information that clinical waste has been brought to Jaffna. We suspect that they are attempting to dispose garbage here. Facilities have been said to dump foreign waste. How did a container carrying waste material arrive at the Tellipalai hospital?
Well, now a forum was held this morning under the title, The Role of Financial Professionals in Combating Bribery and Corruption. State Minister Ran Wickramaratne, the Director General of the Commission to investigate into allegations of bribery or corruption, and others were present at this event.
I'm invited to come and speak on a subject like this. There is at least half the audience out there thinking, looking at me and saying, what is he going to tell us about anti-corruption and bribery when he himself is a politician? So I belong to a category which basically is part of the problem. Our government came into office on the promise of combating this culture of corruption, in 2015. We have worked hard to combat the system. Yet after years of corruption being the norm, it is prevalent even today at all levels of government and society. Those who corrupt the system are people like myself. They are the ruling elite. The others are the majority who are corrupted by the system. Systemic change is not possible without disrupting the existing system. There are ministers in cabinet who have business interests. When you decide as a member of parliament and you're invited to be a member of government in the cabinet of the country, you have to sever all your relationships in business. That is the only way that we could actually create a clean government. We declare our assets. But in the constitution of Sri Lanka, as a member of parliament, when you declare your assets, you make the declaration to the Speaker of the House. But there is a little loophole that I'm sure somebody left with much thought, that if you are a minister, you make the declaration to the President of the country.
For the last 30 years, not a single word of the asset declaration law has been amended. According to our law, all the assets you have by 31st of March, you have to declare before the 30th of June. Just imagine, in between the year, you have amassed a lot of wealth by doing a lot of business. You sell all those properties by 25th of March. Then with that money you buy live 10 elephants on the 25th of March. Are you required to divulge in your asset declaration that you have 10 animals? No. The law does not require to divulge any asset of any movable animal. So then what happened? You sell those animals and you start doing business. Our law recognizes only, mainly the income. But our law does not require all the types of assets, even though all the liabilities are not listed in our asset declaration form.
State Minister Buddhika Pathirana assumed his duties at the Ministry of Industries and Commerce today.
Mathura District Parliamentarian Buddhika Pathirana assumed duties as a Deputy Minister for the first time at the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Resettlement of Protracted Displaced Persons, Cooperative Development and Vocational Training and Skills Development. Later on, he was appointed as the Acting Minister in the Ministry, and he was then appointed as the State Minister at the same ministry yesterday. He assumed duties today without an official ceremony. There will be no ceremony today to mark my appointment as the new State Minister. It will be the usual agenda for me. Therefore, no event or celebration is required. My appointment will be of no cost to the ministry. I will continue with my daily activities as usual.
The foundation stone was laid to a Dhamma hall at the Hatagala Purana Rajamavyarya in Ambalantoda.
The foundation stone was laid by the Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa. The cost of 20 million rupees has been spent on the project. Minister Sajith Premadasa funded 1 million rupees as a personal contribution.
We have commenced a lot of programs on behalf of the Buddha Sasana. In the recent past, we have not come across massive projects of this nature when it comes to religion. I believe this is a genuine effort towards the Buddha Sasana. Many people use Buddhism and the Buddha Sasana to achieve their personal political goals. It is a disgrace to Buddhism.
Now, the police said that the hijacker who was shot dead by the Sri Lanka army was a close associate of gang leader Koskoda Tharaka. Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said the suspect was shot dead when he attempted to shoot the police using a locally manufactured firearm.
The suspects had threatened using a locally manufactured firearm and hijacked a van at around 7:30 p.m. Police had tracked the location of the vehicle using GPS technology and informed the Angruvattoda police. Police said the suspects had driven at high speeds when 4 police officers attempted to stop the vehicle. 2 officers of the armed forces were run over by the vehicle while it was trying to escape. Police said that 2 army officers were injured. Police media spokesperson said a suspect had attempted to shoot the police while fleeing. The suspect was then shot by an army officer.
Well, innocent people eagerly await the arrival of the Gamada teams to listen to their plethora of hardships. As they point out, most of their issues remain unresolved because the authorities have turned a blind eye on them.
The footage that you see here was given to the Gamada team by a resident of Kukurumahathanna, Thaldena in the Badula district. Badulu Oya overflows during most time of the year. Sometimes the water level increases exceeding 7 feet. The residents of Kukurumahathanna are expert swimmers. 3 long generations of their families are used to swimming for their day-to-day activities. A foundation stone was laid to construct a bridge over the Badulu Oya to connect these severed parts of Kukurumahathanna. But that was it. A bridge was never built and the foundation stone is now being eroded by the water.
They came during the election time and promised that they will do this for us.
Today, our Gamada teams visited the areas of Bandaravela, Alla, Kapetipula, Uma Alla, Ravana Falls, Valimada and Wakadihinna and lent their ears to the hardships faced by these people. 400 families of Bunukkantiv and Kinyadi in the Batticaloa district have travelled by the ferry for 3 long generations. Their only dream is a bridge so that they can cross over to the other side. Our team travelling across the Batticaloa district visited the areas of Maglativ, Pattipale, Wakare, Aithyamale, Nellikadu and Unnache. Thalava village of the Anuradhapura district and surrounding villages like Karagahavava and Morogoda have now been threatened by wild elephant attacks. Gamada team travelling across the Anuradhapura district listened to the grievances of residents of Kulavelia, Pullelia and Mahadevul Vava.
Well, it has been revealed that the head of finance of Sri Lanka Cricket had provided a false NIC number to the Criminal Investigations Department. Now, this was revealed where the CID presented facts before court.
Piyal Nandana Disanayaka, the head of finance of Sri Lanka Cricket, was arrested on the 22nd of October by the CID. He was arrested in his residence in Galavilavatta, Homagama. Allegations were raised against the head of the SLC that he had taken steps to deposit $5.5 million that was due to Sri Lanka Cricket to a private bank in a foreign country. The money was the first tranche of $11 million for the broadcasting rights of the England tour of Sri Lanka. The sum of money that was defrauded is close to 1 billion Sri Lankan rupees. The investigations carried out by the CID revealed that the head of finance of SLC had made plans to leave the country. The CID obtained a court order preventing this person from travelling overseas. While the investigations were progressing, the CID had obtained a statement from the senior HR manager of Sri Lanka Cricket regarding the personal details of the head of finance of SLC. As per the details provided by him, it was reported that a false NIC number had been provided. The CID had to then hold another investigation and discover the real NIC number. Then another court order had been obtained to arrest the head of finance of SLC when he was trying to enter or exit the country using his real NIC number. Why did the Sri Lanka Cricket head of finance attempt to conceal details? Did the senior HR manager also try to purposely conceal details from the CID? For your attention.
Well, on that note, we wrap this edition of Primetime News. Thank you for stopping by. Take care. Good night.